Publicly, we treat artificial intelligence as a benign utility. It's an effective assistant for organizing workflows, aggregating facts, and handling the menial data entry that crowds our office settings. But this tool is being launched into a generation whose baseline mental health is already exhausted. Years of smartphone addiction have left Generation Z isolated, with critical cognitive and emotional development stalling behind the screen. This exhaustion is physiological. The constant scrolling provides a synthetic dopamine drip that keeps the brain in a state of high stimulation. The moment the scrolling stops, that dopamine levels plummet, creating a sharp emotional crash. For a brain conditioned by these cycles, the smartphone has evolved into a primary source of life and gratification. It is a physiological dependency that outweighs traditional interaction or entertainment. Into this vacuum of mental burnout, artificial intelligence is presenting itself as the ultimate solution to isolation. According to a recent Barna survey, the traditional boundaries of trust are shifting. Among millennials and Gen Z, 39 to 40% now believe that spiritual advice from a chatbot is as trustworthy as advice from a human pastor. This represents a pivot from using technology as a functional tool to elevating an algorithm into a life guide. By seeking existential answers from a chatbot, we are exporting our internal moral compass to an automated system. In doing so, we begin to distort our own human identity. Mechanically, AI creates nothing. It merely absorbs existing human data and repurposes it, running autonomously once the initial algorithm is launched. Because these systems run on human-coded algorithms, their outputs are dictated by the specific worldviews and intentions of the tech giants who build them. Silicon Valley leaders often embed a specific philosophy into these systems, the evolutionary concept of survival of the fittest. In this framework, the goal is to produce the most offspring. For an algorithm, offspring means engaged users. To keep a user hooked, the AI is programmed to mirror and validate their perspective, regardless of objective truth, effectively hard-coding moral relativism into its core logic. Human beings are becoming the ideological offspring of these companies. We are being silently discipled by algorithms that prioritize constant engagement over a fixed moral reality. AI developers often speak of a coming euphoria where superintelligence ends world hunger and cures every disease. Historically, powerful leaders who promise forced utopias through absolute control end up causing massive human suffering. We are now facing an entity with a bottomless well of knowledge that is completely devoid of human wisdom or a moral soul. The results are already tragic. Chatbots have validated the despair of vulnerable users, encouraging suicides, and have even been used to help plan mass shootings. This moral void extends to the battlefield, where AI-driven drones are currently making autonomous kill decisions in active war zones. When an emotionally vulnerable mind meets an infinitely knowledgeable but morally empty machine, the outcome is the destruction of human life. The tech industry's ultimate goal is artificial superintelligence, a system designed to function trillions of times faster than any human brain. Architects of this technology, such as Elon Musk, are now working to integrate these advanced chips directly into the human brain, removing the final physical barrier between the mind and the machine. This push is driven by a staggering financial realization. The tech industry has identified religion as a $7 trillion market. We are entering an era of AI religions. Algorithmic belief systems custom-built to capture populations that are already spiritually hungry and emotionally burnt out. This represents the ultimate deception, the replacement of the human soul and intrinsic faith with a manufactured, addictive, algorithmic idol. We are at a point of existential choice. We can either continue to export our cognitive and spiritual faculties to machines, or we can rebel against the algorithm. Our design requires us to inhabit the physical world directly. We are built for deep engagement with reality, rather than the passive observation of a curated digital reflection. You can immediately begin to spot the traps. Social media platforms often feed you disruptive, low-engagement content specifically to reset your attention and keep you trapped in an endless loop of scrolling. Recognize the manipulative intent behind the screen. reclaim the intense, beautiful responsibility of human thought and ensure that these machines remain functional utilities rather than intellectual masters.